Hi, everyone. This is Tim Falconer from Way Place Foundation, talking to you from my office in Bethlehem, Pennsylvania, and starting the first of a series of video blogs or vlogs. Um, just a few minutes ago, I was thinking about how I really should blog more. There's just so much going on that is exciting and interesting, at least to me, here at Way Place and with our partners. And being so busy in the act of doing it, of getting it done, I just have lost the time to describe it. So I'm going to borrow uh, something from my good friend John Engel's playbook and do short, frequent video logs. Um, Keep everybody up to date. So I had this idea, and then I opened up my little laptop video recorder and saw what I looked like, and immediately thought, well, I should shave. I should, um, fix my hair, and and then after a minute, I thought, no. See, the goal that we're after here at Way Place, and is freedom, freeing minds, freeing hearts, and if you read books like Mindstorms and other books by Seymour Papert and others, um, to me, the most compelling argument for what we do is to help children get to a place of confidence and mastery of abstract learning, um, essentially before the adults screw it up. And by that I mean tell the children what they should be doing so often that the children learn to stop doing what they do naturally, which is learn. And and I look at the world and I look at the problems and I look at our polarized politics and I look at people's meanness. Um, I look at all sorts of injustices and racism and poverty, and it all seems to come back to one central spot, which is telling a child no, or you should, or I don't have time. I mean, I could probably trace Way Place's beginnings. I was commuting back and forth to the Lotus development, and there was this one neighborhood that I drove through that was less affluent, and I was just driving. It was just it was like a 2-3 second thing where I went past. There was a girl who saw her father walking up the sidewalk, coming back from work, and she ran out to her dad and held up something that she clearly had drawn or made in school or at home. And, I could just see it was, Daddy, Daddy, look at what I did. And the man didn't even bother to look at the paper. He just kind of brushed the girl aside and went inside. And there was nothing, I don't think he was necessarily a bad dad. I think that he was a little overwhelmed. He was coming home from work. But I also saw the reaction of the child, the brightness that she had in her eyes as she held up the paper turned to a different look, one of sadness, but more than this, I would say dejection. That spark went out, and I think ultimately that's what we're trying to do. Why we focus on grade school children, why we use laptops, which are more patient than adults, um, that can connect with the children and give them experience learning in an abstract world before their attitudes about themselves as learners and as people form. So, somewhere along the line, we say, settle down, kids. We say, you're not supposed to speak to your elders. You're supposed to sit there and take the information that we are giving to you and remember it and repeat it on the tests, and that is learning. But that is not learning. That is drill and kill. That's training. It is not Maria Montessori. It is not Piaget. It is not Seymour Papert. It is not Alan Kay. It is creating a good, compliant workforce. It is vocational training. So, real education comes from the heart, comes from within, comes from what's real. And that's why I didn't shave. Because I should shave before appearing in public. And those shoulds, those fears, what will people think of me? What will people say if I raise my hand and try answering this question? What if I get it wrong? Will I get a bad grade? Will I be made fun of? Will that mean that I'm not smart? These questions aren't verbalized, but they are the essence of what's wrong with everything. Anyway, that's enough for today. Talk to you later.